All right, let's move from all these classes you've been making and let's start to learn how to use a couple of classes that have already been made by other people. And hopefully now you're going to sort of get an idea how to use the class better and read their documentation since you've made some of your own classes yourself with methods, parameters, and return values. The class of choice is the ArrayList class. This is a really useful one. Basically, the ArrayList class is built into Java. There it is, class ArrayList. You do need an import. You need to import java.util.ArrayList when you use it. And what it represents is in the background, really, it's just an array that stores whatever you tell it to store. And instead of doing all that stuff we did with arrays before, like have to insert, delete, add, etc., the ArrayList class is going to have methods made for you. So what we can see here is as I scroll down, it'll eventually tell us the methods I have. Here they are, methods. And you'll see there's an add. There's an add where you give it a number and the object. That's like an insert command. There's a clear, gets everything out of the list. There's a get, to get stuff out of the list. There's an isEmpty, to see if the list is empty. You have remove, where you can give it a slot number and it takes that item out. Or you can actually give it the object itself. It'll take it out. There's a size to tell you how many items are in it. And really those are the main ones for the AP course. You can always go and look at this list and see what you can do with all the classes we talk about. But I'm just trying to get you started with the main ones. So let's see this thing in action. So here in our ArrayList example project, I've created a little class called NameKeeper. Pure purpose, just to demonstrate the ArrayList. So you'll see here, I've added the import at the top of the page, which you'll need. You have ArrayList, and this is what's going to look funny the first few times you use it, but you actually have to say, well, you don't have to say, it's good practice to say what type of object or instance you're going to be storing inside of the list. So this one's going to be keeping strings inside of the list, and so I say string there inside the chevrons. I call my list names, and I set it equal to a new ArrayList of type string constructor. And so that basically is a ArrayList that my class can use. Now I've just made two little quick methods here to show you how this works. First, I'm actually going to go down to demo and just show you how you use those methods. They're pretty easy. You'll see here it's as easy as saying name.clear, clears the list. Add. When you add items, it adds an item to the list, okay, to the bottom of it. And so Adam's my only thing in there, so it's the top and the bottom of the list, and the slot number is 0. And then I'm going to call this method showNames. Now I just wrote that actually cycles through the list and shows all the names out. So I'll show you that in a bit. You'll see here you can add another name, Bob, adds another name to the end of the list, names.add one Cindy. Now when we look at the output of this program, what you're going to notice is this method could have been called insert, but they called it add. You give it an index position and it will wedge Cindy into slot 1. Now it makes the list below it expand. So previously Adam was in slot 0. Bob was in slot 1. Now Cindy's going to go to slot 1. You're going to see Bob move down. And so the list works really nicely. It's not like Cindy overwrites Bob and takes him out of the list, right? The list expands, and when you remove things, the list shrinks. I add another name, Zeke here, end of the list, and now I use a set command. The set command is like the overwrite command. So basically it says, hey, go to slot 0 and put the string Mandy in there. And so we know Adam was in there before. Now Mandy's going to be there and Adam's gone. And of course we have the remove command. Remove slot 1. Whoever was in slot 1 is going to be removed. Now the neat thing with remove is remove, when you call it, also sends you back the item that was at that slot. I'll just go to the docs here and just show you remove. And it all makes sense when you see the code run, but remove, you give it a number, and it sends back E, which for in this case just stands for element. In our case, it's strings. And so it sends back a string that got removed. So it's sort of neat. When you remove an item, let's say remove slot 3, it actually sends you back that string that was in slot 3 in case you need to use it. And so I just did that here. I said someone equals names.remove 0. So it takes them out, but sends you their name back. So I just said here, just removed someone. Sometimes it has its uses. Just thought I'd throw that one in there. Now, just being told what those methods do: add, insert, overwrite, remove. What you should do is go down this code without even running this runner and see if you can predict the output. I'll give about 3 seconds here, and then I'm going to give this one a run in the runner and show you what the overall result is. You can see here I've done a show names after each step, so you can go through this yourself and you can see what each step did. Okay, here we go to the runner. So I'm creating a name keeper and I'm just running that demo. And here we go. And there's the overall change of the list. So there was my Adam. There's my adding Bobbin. There was my adding Cindy, and you can see she's wedged into slot 1. There's adding Zeke to the end. There was setting Mandy into slot 0. There was removing Cindy, which was slot 1. And then I did another removal of slot 0. So the list gets left with Bob and Zeke. So that's not too bad. The only method there that I didn't cover when I did this was I didn't cover the how to get stuff out of the list. Now that one was inside of my show names, and it was just the get command. I'll just point out the little things here in the get command, and when you're going through the list, is you'll see here it's very similar to an array. You start at slot 0, you keep K underneath names dot, and it's a method, and the method is dot size. Okay, whoever wrote the class, that's what they decided to call it. So it's not dot length like it is with arrays, it's a dot size method of the array class, or sorry, of the ArrayList class. You'll see here as I go through, I know I'm pulling out strings, so I better have a string variable to grab it. So string temp, set yourself equal to, hey names ArrayList, use your get command, and get me that slot. So that's a parameter. Okay, so again, it's not like arrays where you do square brackets K. We're talking about a class now, so these are all methods, right? So you're going to end up using brackets and parameters. Whoops, get. Okay, so it's a big change. You don't want to mess that one up on the AP exam. It's an easy one just, when you're rushing to put the square brackets in there instead of the method. That's really it. Those are your main methods: size, get, add, set, remove, clear, and you're good. Now that's the basics. Next video, we're going to talk about something a little different, which is namekeeper2. And in namekeeper2, we're going to see here, I did not declare what type is stored in the array list. And there's a little something extra you have to do, which is way back from the beginning of the course. So go watch that one now.